I'm Erin, and before this I filmed 4 other videos that I hated so much that I didn't even post them. So here I am, a month later, with a topic that is niche, but makes me smile. So, today we're gonna talk about the fabulosity that is a negative arc versus a flat arc in characters and in stories. Yes! It is nerdy. No, I will not apologize for this content, okay? So grab a snack, grab a craft, get into a project that you've been meaning to finish around the house, and let's kind of geek out together about the chaotic good that these arcs can bring to your story. So classic storytelling usually presents us with a positive character and story arc. We all know this story. So while the A plot starts off with some sort of tragedy. Oh, we're going into war, my boyfriend just broke up with me, everyone's nipples are falling off. Yeah, while that's happening, we have the B plot that starts off similarly with your character going through some sort of inner turmoil. So they're doubting themselves, they have a horrible family life, there's no way they could ever be the chosen one, or they're just a crappy human. Yeah, which usually makes the way that they would go about the A plot really bad, but really interesting, right? So then at the midpoint, or sometimes the dark of the soul moment, the all is lost moment, but let's just stick to the midpoint. So at the midpoint, the A plot and the B plot collide, and you have to decide who you want to be in this world, and they try and they fail, and they try and they fail, and then they get this really, really big win, and then the world is at their back, they can do anything, and then out of nowhere, they get crushed to the ground, and they're knocked lower than they've ever been in the story, and they're sad, and they think, oh no, I have to quit. I can never go on like this. I'm so unfit for this A plot. And then they get a pep talk from some person, and then they remember who the fuck they are. And then they go into battle, and then it's tooth and nail, and you don't know who's gonna win, but then they finally win, and then the world is better, and through this triumph, they become better, and oh my god, I love it, it's the end, we love hope, ah, the crowd goes wild. Now, baby, I love that story just as much as anyone else. It gives me comfort, joy, and life, yes, but if you're a messy bitch like me who loves drama, tea, random acts of tomfoolery, okay? If you love a whodunit that makes you want to put down the book, makes you want to pause the movie or the TV show so that you're pacing around your living room with your hands on the hips like you're a detective in a movie and the killer just stumped you, if you're into that, then baby, you are in the market for a negative or a flat character or story arc. Let's talk about the genius of a negative arc. Now, an easy way to show this is in tone. So we start off, we're lighthearted and comedic, we're in a utopic society, or it's just like a good ass day. And then slowly we learn more weird things about this world, and character motivations get darker, and then you start to wonder, was it ever really good, or was it always horrific, but they just tricked us like how they tricked the unsuspecting people in the story? Yeah. I love it when authors start things off all funny and cheery, and then they dip their toe into some real eerie mess, and then they step out, and then they dip their toe in and they step out, almost like they're trying to distract you. Like, oh, look over here. Wait, but y'all got demons? No, over here though. But are we not gonna talk about the women who froze to death because they knew too much, or am I just supposed to turn the page like I didn't read what I just read? I will say that while a negative story arc isn't my favorite, even though done well, it's like life-changing, but oftentimes in the wrong hands, it feels like shock value torture porn with no real commentary or point other than to freak you out. But I adore a negative character arc, and here's why. A negative character arc usually looks like a character who's already going through some shit, but they're trying, right? They know their triggers and their traumas and their vices, and they feel bad about what they're doing. And oftentimes they're usually just lost or misunderstood, or they're just kind of resigned to being this yucky person. And it's the A plot that wakes them up and makes them go, oh shit, should I change? I don't know, maybe I could be a better person. Maybe this journey that I'm meant to go on is supposed to change me. Maybe I am meant to be better. Or it's the opposite, where they're on top of the world, or people just perceive them that way. They're on top of the world, but there's still this icky, toxic thing inside them that they can't quite shake, or they're refusing to acknowledge, which is very interesting. And while this is happening, while the A-plot is happening, they're still going through this internal struggle and trying to conquer this outside force despite themselves. But because of their nature, because of their obstacles, because of these outside forces beating them down and falling prey to manipulation and temptation and whatever else, as the reader, you then realize that this story is really about them versus themselves. And isn't that so much more heartbreaking? And then through it all, whether it's because of guilt or shame or never truly feeling deserving of goodness or redemption or whatever awful thing that we tell ourselves, whatever awful thing we try to justify about ourselves, they succumb finally to the dark thing inside of them. And because of that, they fail. And while that can be sad or like darkly thrilling, that our hero, this person that we've been rooting for this whole time to get their shit together, while they become the villain, I think that that opens up so much more thought and discussion and really makes the reader look inward. Like, damn, have I ever been my own worst enemy? Have I been the one this whole time holding myself back? I have. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But I think that's what storytelling is for. And I think that it's fun and it's imperative to explore stories and psyches like this for that exact reason. And lastly, we have a flat arc. And this is for those who enjoy a hair-pulling, like peak crazy story where you're like, oh, why can't you just see it already? So with a flat arc, the plot is just steady going, but your character is constantly trying to make everybody else around them see what the plot is. Meaning, it's basically that movie where a character is trying to convince the world that magic is real, but in failing to do so convincingly, they just look crazy. So they keep trying, and in doing that, they look crazier and crazier until eventually everyone just starts shaming them and ostracizing them. And then that's really hurtful. And then they go away and then start to doubt themselves and believe, hey, maybe I am crazy. And that shame causes this whole downward spiral that exposes something really icky about them that they've been hiding from the audience, which adds more fuel to the fire and why other people don't believe them. And because of the shame, they have chosen to stop fighting. They have chosen to stop spreading this truth. All the while, the world is going up in flames. A bad kind of magic got into the wrong hands. Feral werewolves are only biting criminals so that they can build the most lethal pack ever. The government is truly stealing our children and swapping them out with robots and doing experiments on the real one. And ooh, baby, it's the third act, and you best to believe we're gonna have a moment where our lead character is confronted with, do I save the world or do I save my child? Yes. And then, of course, our character figures this out, goes out into the world while they're still battling the thing that they kept hidden from the audience. Oh my God, how am I gonna do this now? And face everyone. But they have this beautiful cathartic moment where everyone's like, oh my God, we should have believed you. Let's go into battle together, yes. While, again, if you don't keep the tension alive, if you don't keep raising the stakes, if you don't keep on that crazy level of like, what is real, what is fake, this could easily be boring. But if you take the time, genius. But is also a really fun vehicle to tackle shame, guilt, humiliation, how terrifying it is when nobody believes that this traumatic thing is happening to you or a traumatic thing did happen to you. And as always, you can mix and match these. So you can have a positive character arc and a negative story arc. You can have a negative character arc and a flat story arc. You can mix and match. The world is your oyster. You can have it any way you like it. Anyways, you guys, that's all that I have for you today. I hope that you had as much fun nerding out about this kind of stuff as I did. If you have any more nerdy stuff that you want me to nerd out about, how many times am I gonna say nerd in this video? Take a shot of water every time I say nerd so you stay hydrated. But if there's more things that you want me to nerd out about, put it in the comment section. And if you want to check out my writing, links will always be in the description. Yes, I always talk this fast, and I will see all of you lovely people in my next video. Bye!